Another great day in Kathmandu. What a crazy city. And they said, look, we're trying to raise money to build a spinal unit in Nepal. Do you want to get involved with trying to raise some awareness about it? At the time, I was still lying in bed in hospital, and I thought it'd be great if just some good could come out of this whole situation. Really embrace the journey and each other and open up and talk, and it's going to happen anyway, whether you like it or not. Whether you think you're close and you've got secrets, they're all going to come out by the end of the trip.
Yeah, the whole reason we were there was to raise money for the spinal unit, and I think the reason that I had returned was because of the effect that visit to the spinal unit had had on me the previous year. So I was very, I really wanted everyone who was going to go and climb to raise money for this spinal unit to visit it first and realise what they're raising money for and the importance of it, because I knew it'd have an impact on them the same way it did on me.
In our center, the main cause of spinal cord injury is fall from the trees, and followed by the road traffic injuries. And the stigma is like that you become disabled, so you can't do anything.
Normally they don't have a good economic background, so I think they have to spend their whole life as a paralysis, as a disabled.
I became involved with the Neverest charity a few years ago, and we thought it would be an ideal conjunction in a way, given the misfortune of Ed's accident, but the good fortune of his recovery, as to whether he would wish to be involved in efforts to improve rehabilitation for such injured patients.
These centers make the spinal injured people physically, socially, and psychologically fit. And also, these centers have very good networking of these spinal cord injured people. So when they come here, they feel like, oh, I am not the only one. There are many people who have such type of problem.
The spinal injury centre being built it means a lot to me. I had a spinal injury myself about 9 years ago, and I was really lucky. But I know how important that rehab stage is and that aftercare.
As a physio, it's exactly the kind of facility that you would want to set up. It was so logical, the fact that it would take people who had had a life-changing injury and actually take them to a place where they were probably better off having had that injury than without it was incredible.
Just finished at the spinal unit. It always gets me a bit. Get choked up a couple of times, walking into the ward and seeing it's the same anywhere else in the world. Kids lying there with their mums next to them. It's pretty emotional stuff.
Kathmandu domestic airport was shut, so it meant that we had to get a 7-hour bus journey to Ramachamp, which meant an airport that was closer to Lukla. And I kind of knew what we were in for in terms of a bus journey in Nepal, because the roads are shocking and I'd done it the year before. So we got up at 2 a.m, loaded all our stuff onto the bus outside, and that's when it really felt like the adventure was starting. we turned up at Ramachamp Airport ready to get on a plane to Lukla. Lo and behold, the flight was cancelled. So we spent a day in the airport playing cards and eating dalbat.
So I suppose I'm here as representing Neverest. I have to admit I'm also here for selfish reasons. I love Nepal. I was here last year, so it's a challenge, a personal challenge.
Mera Peak is the highest trekking peak of Nepal. So for the Mera Peak trekking, so it takes about 17 days.
I'm a parent to 4 kids, to Cameron, Elliot, Mackenzie and Sky, and they're digital natives. They're growing up, in a very different way to the way that I grew up. If I can inspire them after this trip to want to get outside more, to want to do a bit more hiking with Dad and to get out in the fresh air, that will be a huge benefit from this trip.
I realised that my aches and pains and things that were sore, or the tiredness that was setting in, was nothing probably compared to what Ed was going through. So you just kind of pick yourself up, but you have those quiet moments in your head every now and then going, God, this hurts, like, oh, what are you doing here? Do you need to keep pushing yourself? But, the pain subsides and you can keep pushing on it.
Every time I go to the mountains, I seem to find a bit of peace, and it allows me the time to process some stuff that I need to process. So I've been on a bit of a journey of trying to get myself back to health after some mental health issues that arose through a brain injury that I suffered playing rugby. Yeah, it's been very beneficial so far.
Now on to Donkey of the Day. Rain's on as well.
Just stopped for lunch in a place that looks like Jurassic Park. It is unbelievable. There's monkeys in the trees all around us. Just a 400-meter climb to go until we're at our next stop at 3,200 meters.
The fact I was having to concentrate so hard on every step and it dragging out for 12 hours, combine that with the physical exertion, meant that it was really, really hard to concentrate. And I started losing my footing, and then it started getting dark before we got to the next tea house. So head torches came on, it was getting cold. You could tell that our guides, Big Raj and the others, were starting to get stressed because they realised it was pretty dangerous, and there was a hairy few hours.
8 hours 34 minutes.
9,956 calories.
Well, Ed invited me, and I stupidly said yes before I realised quite what I was letting myself in for. But in truth, he told me a lot about the people that he met here and the spinal unit in Nepal, and about making connections with them, and that's something I was really keen to get involved with. From visiting the spinal unit, it was an incredible experience, and I was very touched by all of the people there and the amazing work that they're doing, and I hope to be involved with that in the future.
I'm thinking a lot about Lois, a lot about my family, a lot about everyone that's helped me get to this point so far. The surgeon, the physios, mostly my family and my friends, and Tom, you know, he's sadly not with us anymore, but I walk with them every step of the way, and they're the only reason that I can keep going. So hard work. We'll get there though. I know we will. Do it for all of them. It's really instilled a load more confidence into me. I feel feeling really positive, and to be sat here in this with these surroundings. I mean, when I put my poles down today, I think I might have been in the best headspace I've ever been. My mind was just empty, and I was just happy, and I was looking up at these mountains, and they really do dwarf anything that's going on in your life. They make your problems seem so small, and it's a moving, humbling place to be. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Big Raj. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. I haven't celebrated because I wanted to celebrate, but I didn't know when is my exact birthday. So I was talking with Kim, and then she was telling you have to celebrate 31st of October.
Yeah.
So that's why this is really big surprise for me. Thank you so much. And then every year I will celebrate my birthday on 31st.
He's doing the last bit. He's doing the last bit. Nice.
Tomorrow we head up to high camp, minus 30. It's going to be tomorrow night. Get up at 1 a.m. and we have a 12-hour push to the summit. Let's hope everything goes okay.
I never imagined the mountains. I mean, every time you turn your head, there is an incredible peak, an incredible glacier. It's really a paradise for mountaineering.
God, I just feel so lucky to be here. I can't believe it. It's like a dream. 2.5 years ago, I've been told I'm never going to walk again. This is for everyone who's been told they can't do something, or they don't think they can do something. You can. You can. Just believe it. There's frost all over the inside of our tent. It's nut warm. We're just gearing up
Had some porridge, getting ready to set off on our summit attempt. Davies managed to get 7 hours sleep, and we lost Kieran to sickness. He had to go down last night. Ed was ill as well, but he pulled through it, so fingers crossed we'll get to the top. See you on the other side.
Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Really wasn't much else going through my head at that point.
How you feeling?
To be honest.
Remember my question mark in the video.
I'm feeling fucked. But we're gonna get there.
I was still bent double on my poles until I came within 4 or 5 steps of the summit. And then weirdly, just everything became clear and quiet. And I remember there was just a melee of ropes as everyone was huddled on this small summit, and I took one step and looked up and saw Rich, my best mate, and it still feels like a dream. I still can't believe that we were actually stood up there.
The moment yesterday when we reached the summit was the hardest thing I've ever done, but without doubt, the most rewarding thing. The looks on everyone's faces, just of fulfillment, and the group coming together, 14 people that didn't really know each other at all.
I had that dream to take him all the way to the top of Mera Central, and then so I think dream came true. I'm very happy to make his trip successful. Thank you.
To me, it doesn't make any difference who got to the top and who didn't out of that group. You know, the end goal might have been the summit of Mera Peak, but actually the real goal was getting everyone to Nepal to raise lots of money for a spinal unit. And we couldn't have got to the points that we did without those 4 people anyway. So they played just as big a part as any of us did in summiting.
I'm so proud of everyone, and that was by far the hardest thing I've ever done. Not just getting to the summit, but getting to high camp. The whole 2 weeks. We've still got more to go.
About 6 to 9 months ago, my life started unravelling quite quickly, and I managed to lose a lot of control. And Ed invited me along because he told me all the benefits of coming out to the mountains and how they can help me get back parts of my life that I've missed, parts of my life that I've lost. And I jumped at the chance, really. I think being in the mountains, being with the group of people that we've been with has been incredibly beneficial to me. And having summited Mera Peak, I can truly say that I've learned a lot of life lessons that I can take through to the next stages of my life and gain back that control that I lost and become the person that I can be.
And then we got to the small matter of Chitwan Pass, which is the same height as Mont Blanc, highest mountain in Europe, and we just had to cross over that to get back down into Lukla. We had this one big challenge left, and then the snow set in, and the ice set in, and it just became really dangerous, considering how tired we were.
For me, this has provided a goal, a target that with a bit of effort, sweat and toil is achievable. It's a nice balance between individual work and also teamwork. I've been struggling to find that probably a little bit certainly over the last 8 years, I'd say. So it's given that aspect in space.
I'm not even sure if I would ever have attempted that when I was able-bodied. So to think I've now achieved something, considering I'm disabled, it's the first time that I've achieved something that I didn't think may be possible before I was disabled.
It's been a very moving experience and one I'll hold on to for a long time. That's about all I've got to say at the moment because I'm still absolutely shattered.